there, Paul Gray, look here. Hey, I'm Paul Gray and welcome back to another 5-string banjo tutorial. This is the opening break to Dooley, as played by Kristin Scott Benson of the Grascals. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a Grascals fan. Even more than a Grascals fan, I'm a Kristin Scott Benson fan. Her banjo picking is clean, crisp, and unique. She conveys a style I like to call simplistic complexity. Their rendition of Dooley is one of my favorites. I'll play through the break, then separate it by measures. Here's the whole thing. Measure 1. Measure 1 is the lead-in. A lead-in sets the beat and tempo for other instruments and/or vocals to come in on cue. Kristin uses a short and sweet lead-in that I affectionately refer to as striking the match. It goes like this. Measure 2. The first note of measure 2 relays the first melody note of the song. The remainder of the measure contains fill-in notes with a melody feel. Measure 3. Measure 3 begins with an open to 2 hammer on the 4th string, representing more of the melody, with more melody-flavored fill-in notes immediately following the hammer. Measure 4. Measure 4 starts out with an alternating thumb pattern on strings 4, 2, 5, 1, thumb, index, thumb, middle, followed by another open to 2 hammer on the 4th string. In measure 3, this hammer introduced a C chord, but in measure 4, it sets up the transition from G to D with a single note rest before the upcoming D lick. It should sound like this. Measure 5. Measure 5 is a common D lick. The first note of the lick is the melody note. Measures 6 and 7. Measures 6 and 7 do a good job of melody minding with a double sliding alternating thumb pattern and a pull-off followed by several C chord fill-in notes. Measure 8. Measure 8 begins with a single standard alternating thumb slide lick followed by a signature staccato single string technique to finish the measure. Measure 9 contains mostly fill-in notes in preparation for the next phrase of the song. Measure 10. Measure 10 marks the beginning of the second half of the verse, with its first note being the melody note. It sounds like this. Measure 11. Measure 11 is another open to 2 hammer for the C chord. Measure 12. Measure 12 ends with another open to 2 hammer, heading towards the D lick again. Measure 13. Measure 13 changes things up with an index middle pinch, a rest, and the remainder of the D lick to complete the measure. Measure 14. Measure 14 starts out with a single sliding alternating thumb pattern and ends with double hammers. Index, middle, index, middle. Measure 15. Measure 15 is confusing when played by itself, but here's how it goes. And here's measure 16. Here's measure 16 and 17 together. Here's the end of 16 with all of measure 17. Measure 17. Measure 17 is a standard 1 to 3 transitional lick. Measure 18. Measure 19. Measure 19 is the one that gives most people trouble. Just kidding. There you have it, Dooley. Mostly as played by Kristin Scott Benson of the Grascals. Happy picking!